sure you thought that trinomials is quite difficult. I told you it's probably the hardest thing, but today we're going to even look at more complicated trinomials. Okay, believe it or not, they are more complicated. So the kind of complication we have here is that our x squared, or here I use y, it doesn't matter. Before we would just work with y squared or x squared. Now suddenly we have a number, or we have another sign. So what do we do then? Whenever you have, well, at this point anyway, okay, grade 9, whenever you have a number in front of the x squared or the y squared, don't try to do anything before you get rid of it. Okay, so you can't use our method that I showed you in the last lesson before you get rid of it. Now, how do you get rid of it? I don't want you to just run it. You can't do that. But what you can do is you look at these three terms and you can see that there's a common factor. So before you start trinomialize it, get that common factor. 2, 10, and 8. What's the common factor? Obviously, it's 2. So we're going to write 2 out, and then I'm going to get y squared plus, that's going to be 5y, because 5y times 2 is 10, plus 4, because 4 times 2 is 8. So you see, I've got 2 out, just like we learned in our first lesson of factorizing. Just get out the common factor. Now, okay, now you see, I've got the 2 out. This is now a normal trinomial, which we worked in the last lesson. So now I know I'm going to have these two brackets, because you see, now it's y squared. I don't have anything in front of it. That's how I got rid of that 2. I just factorize it, okay? So I'm going to write y and y. And I've got to remember that I'm looking here for 2 numbers that you multiply them, you'll get 4. If you add them, you get 5. Okay, so you can write down the factors of 4, okay? 4 is 2 times 2, or 4 is 4 times 1. Which of these pairs will add up to 5? And the answer will be 4 and 1, right? 2 plus 2 is not going to be 5, but 4 plus 1 will be 5. So the answer is y plus 4, y plus 1. Okay? And that is now fully factorized. You can't do anything more than that. Right, let's look at another example. So now instead of y, I've got a. Doesn't matter. Okay? But again, I don't have a squared, I've got 3a squared. So we need to somehow get rid of that 3. So we look at these numbers, 3, 15, and 18. Yes, they're all factor of 3. So I'll get 3 out, then I'll have a squared, because 3 times a is 3a squared, minus 5a, because 3 times 5a is minus 15a, minus 6, because 3 times minus 6 is minus 18. Right, so I'll write down the 3. And this is a normal trinomial, okay, the a squared is on its own. So I'm going to put these 2 brackets, right, a and a. And now I'm looking for 2 numbers. If I multiply them, I will get minus 6. If I get a negative number, that means one is positive, one is negative. Let's just try and remember it. I'm not going to write it down, okay? One is negative, one is positive. Now when I add them, I'm going to get minus 5. Okay, let's write down all the factors of 6. Minus 6. 6 is minus 3 times minus 3 times 2, or minus 2 times 3, or minus 1 times 6, or minus 6 times 1. That's the only pairs of numbers I can multiply to get minus 5. Now, which one are these pairs? If I add up together, I will get minus 5. Well, it ain't going to be those. It's going to be one of those, right? Minus 1 plus 6 is plus 5. Minus 6 plus 1 is minus 5. So it's going to be minus 6 plus 1. And that's going to be the answer. Okay? We're going to just test. Minus 6 times 1 is minus 6. Minus 6 plus 1 is minus 5. End of story. Okay, let's move on to another one. Okay, now here, look, I don't have a number in front of x squared, but I've got that negative sign. Okay, again, at this point, it's not a normal trinomial, so I want to get rid of that minus. How can I do it? Oh, I will just say minus 1. I'll get minus 1 out of the brackets, and then what we do, it swaps all the signs. We did a lesson about swapping signs. If I put a minus 1 here, then I'm going to have to write positive x squared, because minus 1 times x squared is minus x squared. But now instead of minus 2x, I'm going to write down plus 2x, because minus 1 times 2x is 2x. And then I'm going to write minus 8, because minus 1 times minus 8 is positive 8. So just like we learned in that lesson about changing sign, if I take minus out, then I'm swapping all the signs. Whatever was negative, now it's positive. This was negative, now it's positive. This was positive, now it's negative. Now I've got x squared, normal trinomial, okay? So I'm gonna, okay, I don't even actually need to write that minus, you know? You can write down minus 1 time. I know a lot of you would like to, but really I can just write minus, okay? I will do that. If you write minus 1, it's fine. I'm not going to think about it, okay? So I'm going to write down, prepare this graph here. I've got x and x, and I'm looking for two numbers that if you multiply, then you get minus 4. And if you add them, you get 2. So let's have a look at this. Minus 8 will be, how can I make minus 8? How can I multiply? Well, I can multiply minus 8 times 1, or 8 times minus 1, okay? But if I add these two numbers, minus 8 plus 1, I will get minus 7. I'm not going to get 2. The same here, 8 minus 1 is 7. That's not the right one. Okay, so I'll try minus 4 times 2, or 4 times minus 2. Now here, one of those is going to work, right? Because minus 4 plus 2 is minus 2. Okay, that's not 2, but I'm close. Instead of 2, I've got minus 2. If I try 4 plus minus 2, well, I've got my 2. Okay, so the answer is going to be plus 4 minus 2. And again, that's the answer, fully factorized. Okay, now, by the way, I'm just going to show you, yeah, that's fine. Now here is something a little bit different. Here I don't even have a square. Look at this, I've got x cubed. I've got a square here, I've got x cubed. How do I work with cubes? Well, there is a way of working with cubes, but you're not going to learn in grade 9. It's only way ahead. But luckily for us, we can do something. Because all these terms have an x. So I can factorize an x. I can get x out. And how do I make x cubed out of x? I need to multiply it by x squared. So I've got a common factor out, which is x, and I'll have x squared, because x squared times x is x cubed. Here, I'm going to have minus 12x, because minus 12x times x is minus 12x squared. And then I'm going to say plus 27, because 27 times x is 27x. And now I've got the x out, and here I've got a normal, what we call quadratic term. So we've got the square, and now I know how to normalize. So I'm going to write the x here. I mustn't forget, I must never forget these terms here. And then I'll prepare the ground here. I'll have x and x. And again, we need to figure out, I'm looking for two numbers. Now, if I multiply them, I get 27. So I'm going to write 27. Okay. Now, by the way, those two numbers, if I add them together, what must I get? I must get minus 12. So these two numbers are either two positive or two negatives. Okay? Because I multiply two positive or two negative, I'll get the positive number. But if I add them, I get a negative number. So these numbers must be negative. Okay? They can't be positive, because a positive plus positive is not going to give us something negative. So I know that the two factors I'm looking for are negative. Right, 27. Okay, how can I get 27? Either I'm going to multiply minus 1 by minus 27. Okay, that's going to get me plus 27. But if I add these two, I'll get minus 28. I'm not going to get 12. So the other factor of 27 is 9 and 3. That's the only one. Okay, so minus 9 times minus 3. And we're on to it, because if I'm adding minus 9 minus 3, I'm getting minus 12. So the answer will be minus 9 minus 3. And that's the answer. Okay, let me just check, see if there's any other different one. Okay, I think this is pretty much it. Look, guys, it's really hard. Please don't hack yourself if you don't get it. It's one of these things, I'll be honest with you, when you come to the exam, they're going to be that small. There will be so little of it. And if you don't know how to do, if you can see you can't do really trinomials, then don't even bother about it. Just do the best you can. That's all we can. See you in a minute.